This is going to be a video review of the Ernie Ball Earthwood acoustic guitar strings, nylon classic ball end. These are nylon strings, they are not steel strings. If you want to buy these things, look at the video description. I'll leave a link so you can buy them on Amazon, affiliate link, it will help me out. And if you don't want to buy these strings, if you shop on Amazon and you click on that link before you do your order, it will help me out anyway. So I wanted to buy Diodario, but I did not want to spend the amount of money that they wanted for the nylon strings, which was twice as much as the Ernie Ball. This is the Ibanez. I don't even know if it's tuned up. Now I'm not plucking that hard, so, but you can hear it's fairly quiet. And let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. Hopefully I do this in the right direction. You can see the strings, they're all kind of pitted, and I didn't really realize how bad they are, but there's the bridge. These were, I don't know if I put strings on here before. I might have. This is the right way to do it. Maybe I didn't because this is so nicely done. And these are done with the way that you would do a nylon string. Everything's looped and all hooked together. But the advantage of buying a ball end string is your balls are going to be on the end of the string. Hold on. Back. You're going to have your balls on the end of the piece over here, so you're not going to have to go and do this nice fancy winding, which really looks pretty, but I mean, come on. Nobody looks at that stuff in the end. You're playing. So I'm going to take them out of the package. I'm going to measure the size of the strings on here, and I'm going to compare them to I think these are the stock strings that come on the Ibanez, and I'm going to see what they are compared to the Ernie Ball, and then we're going to restring this guy, or gal, or whatever it is. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start restringing these strings on the guitar. Sorry about the dust, but since I'm getting rid of this, I just wanted to show this on the screen. I'm going to show you this part. Now normally on an electric, you turn this side back to the left to tighten, to go up, to make it a higher pitch, and you turn it counterclockwise on this side. But with a classical guitar, everything is in the same direction. So to tighten the string, you turn it counterclockwise on the top part and the bottom part. You can see how they do it really, it's very nicely done, how they take the string and they wrap it, they put it in the hole, and normally they wrap it underneath, and it just comes out really nice. Now on this one, all they did is they put the string through and they wound it going all the way to this side, where you can see on the other side they put the string in and they wind it outward, so it's wound outward and it's wound outward. They did not wrap the string. Like I said, sometimes they take the string and they put it underneath, or they put it across and then they start tightening the string to lock it in place. They didn't do that. So to loosen a nylon string, we can hear the string. To loosen it, you go to the left to tighten it, counterclockwise, and to the right to loosen it. So you're going to go to the right, clockwise, to loosen it, all of these, and then you're going to go to the left to tighten it. Now, there are two different ways to look at this. Some people say you should only do one string at a time. Others say do 3 strings at a time, because you still want to keep tension on the neck, and if you take all the strings off, you lose the tension on the neck. And others say it doesn't matter, take all your strings off, clean it up, clean up the fretboard, do what you want to do, get rid of all the dust. For me, I had a bad experience one time where I took all 6 strings off, the nut wasn't held down well, wasn't glued down well, the nut came off, and when your nut comes off, that's never a good thing. That is a ball end string. It's a lot easier than tying the knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this right next to the end by the bridge where the string would go, and then I'm going to pull. I've already done this, but I'm going to pull and I'm going to get as close to the length as possible. In this case, I went just a little bit longer, which is okay because you saw there was a lot of extra room, and it really shouldn't matter that much. except for making it look pretty. It shouldn't matter that much if you have a little extra string on the the winder, the peg, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so I'm going to remove that string that was nicely tied down now, and we're going to put on the first string, the number 6 string. And this, if this was a steel string, it wouldn't be limp like this. The steel string would be very erect and rigid, but you can tell that it's a nylon string because it's kind of wobbly and limpy. I want you to see how the string gets locked with a nylon string. Now you can look over here, you can see that it looks like the string is going in this hole twice, and it is. What they're doing is I'm going to show you the other side, because we don't have the end piece over here. What they do is they insert, it's a little creaky over there. Oh, because I'm tightening it the wrong way. So, you've got, as I said, the string looks like it's in there twice, because it kind of is. And what you have is, see what they did? The end, when you do it, you take the end and you put it in the hole and you kind of wrap it's really hard to explain. The string goes in, goes around and up, and then they push it back down into the hole. So it's kind of hard to get two in one tight hole, but you should be able to do it. And that's what they're doing here, is the string goes down. It's kind of a lot more labor intense than if you were doing steel strings. So what's going on here is, it's a lot more labor intense. What's going on here is this string, I know my fingers are in the way, but I'm going to get them out of the way so you can see what's going on. So what happens is I've got my string looped, and now I'm going to take the tip of this thing and I'm going to squeeze it into the hole over here, and then I'm going to start wrapping. The number 6 string is obviously the thickest, and it's always the hardest one to do. The other strings are a lot easier because they don't make the hole that big. Now, as I said in my case, there is just no easy way to get the number 6 string locked, because the string barely, when I get the 2 of them in there, I don't have enough length. I probably should not have cut this as short until I finish this, but the other strings aren't going to be a problem. And this one wasn't even locked. From the factory I looked, it was not locked. They didn't have it going through. The others, they do. So you can see on the bottom over here, I'm going to strap that across. I'm going to strap it going this way, and then I'm going to start winding, and it will lock. It will hold that little piece and it will lock it down. There it is. I didn't get enough wraps on there, as I said. I measured string length to length, but what I should have been thinking was the string that was already on there had been stretched, and this was not stretched. And over here you can see what I'm talking about. Plus you can see my shoe, or my foot. So the little peg is over on the left side. The cutoff part of the string is over on the left side of the hole. And on this one, that's the part, you can see they put it on the right, and then they wrapped it over and started tightening it down. Now on this one, I put the string in on one side and actually brought the main string crisscrossing over to lock it in place. So it's in the hole on the wrong side, and then I crisscrossed over to lock it. I am measuring a lot more string than what is on there, and you can see it really is not enough, so I'm going to have to do even more. On the 4th string over here, you can see that I had even more problem. I made the string even longer this time, and it still didn't matter. I don't even have 2 good wraps. I ended up having to fold this piece over here to lock it in place because I just didn't have enough string. So I'm going to leave the string substantially longer than what I've been doing. But you can see over here, it was locked in on one side. This side I crisscrossed, this side I crisscrossed, and this side over here I had much more room on this string. And the reason I'm doing the video, I'm not an expert, I'm a beginner. And that's why this video is going to be posted as beginner. Because you're going to run into the exact same problems that I did. I've done this a couple times, but it's always just a nightmare for me doing the nylon. I wanted to show the number 3 string. A lot of times when they're doing the number 3, you know how I showed how they put the string in there, the end in there? A lot of times they will put it in and they will loop it through twice. This way, this one, I don't know what the heck they did here. This is really locked down tight. It looks like the string wraps, okay, this is the string wraps around, comes up, and then they push it back down. So this is the string, this is the main part of the string. The string goes around the pole, the rod, whatever you want to call it. It goes around, it comes up through the hole, and then they push it back down. I don't know what kind of knot you would call that, but let me try to lift that up now. So everybody's got their own way that they're going to do this thing. The smaller strings, you might have more problems with slippage, and slippage is never a good thing in life, is it? I don't have this on the tripod. There you go. You can see what they did now. So they kind of folded it over, pushed it in the hole, gently inserted it into the hole, and then started doing the tightening. Camera really doesn't want to focus too well, but I had a very hard time. You saw on the camera how that thing looped up and went under, and every time I tried to do it, I couldn't get it. If I was doing this side first and then doing the other end, it would be no problem. But doing this end, it just mixes me up how the heck they do this. Well, this is done by a machine, so a person's not doing this. So what I ended up doing, what I wanted to do is I wanted to put that loop in there. Remember, there was the loop and then the string wrapped around and went through the loop, and the loop piece went into the hole. I couldn't do it, so I locked it. I have a lot more winds on here than I need. I am not sure if you can see this, so what this string is doing is it's coming over here, it wraps over, it goes down, it comes up through the hole, you bend this little piece, see, these things are so hard to do. You bend the string and then it goes back down. So let me see if I can get that. I should use the tripod. But that's what I want to show you. This piece goes over, you bend the string, you fold this thing, and this little piece goes back into the hole, and then you wrap it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. With the bigger strings, not totally impossible to do. With the 3 smaller strings, it's very easy to, well, it's easier to do. Right now, that is the nicest one that I've done of the group. I've got the loop the way it should be, with the little going up and over and down, and I've got, I would say that the number 1 string was the best one that I did. I did not cut it until I wrapped it around the post. I pushed it up the hole, I folded it, I pushed it down the hole, and then I adjusted how much string I needed. It's tuned now. The problem is with nylon strings, they go out of tune for days. It did not come in a box. These are the Ernie Ball Earthwood nylon strings. As I said, I'm going to leave a link in the video description if you want to buy these. Do I notice a difference? I had the EJ, 45s or something from Diodario before. I can't really notice a difference. They're nylon strings. And I'm not a classical player, but I just enjoy the sound of the nylon strings. So I do recommend these things. Are they better than Diodario? I think it's EJ 45. I don't know. All I can say is these things are probably 2/3 the price. maybe half the price, and they sound great. If you play classical, if you play nylon, and you do this all the time, it's going to be a really easy job for you to restring these things. If you don't, this took me forever. I would buy the ball strings if you were a beginner. If you want to learn how to tie all those knots, it's going to take a long, long time. And in the end, nobody's going to notice and nobody is going to care. I want to show you one last thing. So this is what you get with the ball strings. They can't use the ball. They use the ball on the one that has they're wound. You can see how they're wound. But when you've got real nylon strings, total nylon, they're not wound, that's what they end up using. Kind of looks goofy compared to the other way, having the beautiful, the nice knots and everything braided and looking really cute. This doesn't look as good. Yes, I could probably cut these down. I don't know if I'm going to. But this is a lot easier. It's much easier. It's going to save you a ton of time. And if you're playing at home and you don't really care about learning how to tie all the knots, I would just go and do this, and you'll be happy, and I'll be happy. If you don't want to do the thumbs up, the like, the share, if you want to leave rude comments, that's up to you. Thanks for watching, everybody.